Stop comparing your relationship to what you see on social media. Because the moment you start measuring your love life against someone else's highlight reel, you've already lost the game. And here's the part nobody tells you. That comparison you're making isn't even real. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's edited final cut. Alan Watts understood this decades ago, and what he said about it will completely change how you see your relationship. You know that feeling when you're scrolling through Instagram at night and you see another couple posting their perfect vacation photos? Or when your friend talks about how their partner surprised them with flowers for no reason, and you can't remember the last time your partner did something like that. Yeah, that feeling. That weird mix of jealousy, inadequacy, and self-doubt that creeps in. We've all been there. And if you're a parent watching your kids navigate relationships, or if you're single and looking at all these seemingly perfect couples around you, that feeling hits even harder. Today, we're going to break down why your brain does this, why it's making you miserable, and what Alan Watts, one of the most brilliant philosophical minds of the 20th century, had to say about it. Let's be honest about what's happening in your head right now. You're in a relationship. Maybe you've been married for 15 years. Maybe you've got kids. Maybe you're juggling work and family and trying to keep everything together. And somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, you catch a glimpse of someone else's relationship. Could be your neighbor. Could be a celebrity. Could be some random person on TikTok. And suddenly, your relationship feels less than, smaller, boring even. Or maybe you're single. You've been trying to find someone for months, maybe years. You're on the dating apps. You're going to events. You're putting yourself out there. And everywhere you look, people are in relationships. Happy relationships, apparently. They're getting engaged, getting married, having kids, buying houses together. And you're sitting there thinking, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I have that? Here's the problem, and it's a big one. This comparison thing isn't just making you feel bad for a few minutes. It's actually destroying your ability to be happy. Right now, in this moment, with what you have, or with who you are. Think about it. When was the last time you truly appreciated your partner without thinking about how they measure up to someone else's partner? When was the last time you felt genuinely content being single without wondering why you're not in a relationship like everyone else seems to be? The comparison trap is everywhere. It's in every romantic comedy you watch. It's in every wedding you attend. It's in every conversation with your friends about their relationships. It's in every advertisement that shows you what love is supposed to look like. And the worst part, most of us don't even realize we're doing it. We think these thoughts are normal. We think it's just human nature to look at what others have and want it for ourselves. But here's what Alan Watts would tell you. And this is going to sound wild at first. You're not actually comparing relationships at all. You're comparing fantasies. You are comparing the story you tell yourself about your relationship to the story someone else is telling about theirs. And both stories are mostly fiction. Let me explain what I mean. When you see a couple posting photos from their beach vacation, what are you actually seeing? You're seeing maybe 30 seconds of their entire week. You're seeing the moment they looked happy, smiled for the camera, and got the lighting just right. You're not seeing the argument they had about money before the trip. You're not seeing the flight delay that made them both cranky. You're not seeing the fact that they barely talked to each other during dinner because they were both on their phones. You're not seeing the reality. You're seeing the performance. And when your friend tells you about the amazing thing their partner did, what are you hearing? You're hearing the highlight, the peak moment. You're not hearing about the 3 weeks before that when their partner forgot their birthday. You're not hearing about the ongoing issues they have with communication. You're not hearing about the fact that they almost broke up last month. You're hearing the edited version that makes for a good story. But your brain doesn't know that. Your brain takes that information and runs with it. It creates this whole narrative about how much better their relationship is than yours, how much happier they must be, how much more in love they are. And then it turns that narrative into a weapon and beats you over the head with it. This is what's called the trap of the conceptual mind. We create these concepts in our heads about what relationships should be, what love should look like, what happiness should feel like. And then we compare our actual lived experience to these concepts. And one of the main ways the ego does this is through comparison. You figure out who you are by comparing yourself to other people. You're taller than this person, shorter than that person, smarter than this one, not as funny as that one, more successful here, less accomplished there. Your whole sense of self gets built on these comparisons. The problem is, this extends to relationships. Your ego looks at your relationship and asks, how do I stack up? Am I doing better than others? Am I loved as much as they are? Is my relationship as exciting, as passionate, as stable, as whatever? And this is where things get really messy. Because relationships aren't competitions. There's no scoreboard. There's no objective measure of what makes a relationship good or bad. But your ego doesn't care about that. It needs to compare. It needs to rank. It needs to know where you stand. Watts would say this is completely missing the point of what a relationship actually is. A relationship isn't a thing you have. It's not a possession you can measure against someone else's possession. A relationship is something you do. It's a verb, not a noun. It's the ongoing interaction between two people, moment by moment, day by day. When you compare your relationship to someone else's, you're freezing both relationships in time. You're taking a snapshot and comparing snapshots. But relationships don't exist in snapshots. They exist in motion, in the flow of real life, in the millions of tiny moments that never make it to Instagram or dinner party conversations. Let me give you a real example. Say you've been married for 20 years. You've got kids. Maybe they're teenagers now. Maybe they're younger. Your days are full of carpools and homework and bills and trying to find time to have a conversation with your partner that isn't about logistics. It's not glamorous. It's not the stuff of romance novels. Some days, you barely see each other. Some days, you're more like business partners managing a household than lovers. And then you see your friend who just started dating someone new. They can't stop talking about their new relationship. How amazing it is. How they stay up all night talking. How they can't keep their hands off each other. How everything feels fresh and exciting. Your brain immediately goes there. You start thinking, we don't have that anymore. We lost that. Maybe we made a mistake. Maybe this isn't what love is supposed to feel like. But what are you actually comparing? You're comparing 20 years of shared history, of building a life together, of surviving hardships and raising children and growing as people. You're comparing all of that complex, deep, lived experience to the honeymoon phase of a new relationship. It's like comparing a house you've lived in for 2 decades to a hotel room someone just checked into. Yeah, the hotel room might be cleaner and more exciting right now, but it's not a home. It's not filled with memories and meaning and all the invisible things that make a relationship real. Watts talked about this idea of confusing the menu with the meal. The menu describes the food. It might even have beautiful pictures of the food, but you can't eat the menu. You can't get nutrition from reading descriptions of what a steak tastes like. The experience of actually eating is completely different from looking at the menu. When you compare relationships, you're comparing menus. You are comparing the descriptions, the surface-level presentations, the stories people tell. But the actual meal, the real experience of being in a relationship, that's something else entirely. That's something that can't be captured in a social media post or a story you tell at a party. And here's another layer to this. When you're constantly comparing, you're never actually present in your own relationship. You're always somewhere else mentally. You're either in the past, thinking about how things used to be, or in this imaginary future where your relationship could be more like the ones you see around you. You're never just here, now, with the person in front of you. Watts was big on this concept of presence, of being fully in the moment you're actually in. Not the moment you wish you were in. Not the moment you think you should be in. The moment you're actually experiencing right now. When you're with your partner and you're thinking about how your friend's partner is more romantic, you're not actually with your partner. You're with your thoughts about your friend's relationship. When you're single and you're obsessing over why everyone else seems to have found someone, you're not present to your own life. You're lost in comparison land. And comparison land is a terrible place to live. It's a place where you can never win, because there will always be someone whose relationship looks better from the outside. There will always be couples who seem happier, more in love, more compatible. There will always be something to feel inadequate about if you're looking for it. This is especially brutal for parents. You're already comparing everything. You compare your kids to other kids. You compare your parenting to other people's parenting. You compare your house, your car, your career, your vacation photos. And now you're comparing your relationship too. You see younger couples without kids and think about how much easier they have it. You see couples whose kids are grown and think about how nice it must be to have that freedom. You're trapped in this comparison cycle across every aspect of your life. Or if you're single, the comparison is even more direct. Everyone else has someone, and you don't. At least that's how it feels. And every wedding invitation, every birth announcement, every couple you see holding hands in the park, it all feels like evidence that you're failing at something fundamental. That everyone else figured out this relationship thing except you. But here's what's understood that most people miss. The problem isn't that you're single or that your relationship isn't perfect. The problem is that you're using comparison as a tool to understand your life. And comparison is the wrong tool for the job. It's like trying to measure love with a ruler. Love isn't something you can measure. It's not quantifiable. You can't say your relationship is 7.3 out of 10, while someone else's is 8.1. That's absurd. But that's essentially what you're doing in your head when you compare. What would tell you that love, real love, has nothing to do with comparison? Love is what happens when you stop comparing, when you stop measuring, when you stop judging your experience against some external standard. Love is what's left when all of that falls away. Think about the moments in your relationship when you felt truly connected to your partner. Really think about it. Were you comparing your relationship to anyone else's in those moments? Of course not. Comparison disappears when real connection happens. It only shows up when you're disconnected, when you're in your head instead of in the moment. Same thing if you're single. The moments when you felt truly content with your life, truly at peace with where you are. Were you comparing yourself to coupled up people in those moments? No. Comparison only creeps when you're not fully present to your own experience. So what creates this cycle? Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Part of it is cultural. We live in a society that's obsessed with comparison. Everything is ranked, rated, reviewed. We have algorithms that show us what we're missing. We have social media platforms designed to make us feel inadequate, so we'll keep scrolling. We have entire industries built on selling us the idea that we're not enough. And relationships have become part of this comparison culture. There's this idea that you need to have the perfect relationship, the Instagram-worthy relationship, the relationship that your friends will be jealous of, the relationship that proves you're successful not just at work or in other areas, but at love too. This is insane, but it's where we are, and it's making people deeply unhappy. I talk to people all the time, parents in their 40s and 50s, single people in their 30s and 40s, and the same theme comes up over and over. They feel like they're failing at relationships, not because their relationships are actually bad, but because they don't measure up to some imaginary standard that nobody can actually define. Parents feel guilty that they're not having enough date nights, not keeping the romance alive like they see other couples doing. Single people feel like something must be wrong with them because they haven't found their person yet, because everyone else seems to make it look so easy. But here's the truth that Watts would want you to understand. The other couples you're comparing yourself to, they're comparing themselves to other couples too. Everyone is in the same boat. Everyone feels inadequate. Everyone thinks they're the only one struggling, while everyone else has it figured out. It's a collective delusion. We're all performing for each other, comparing ourselves to each other's performances, and feeling bad that we don't measure up to performances that aren't even real. So here's the moment where everything shifts. Here's the insight that can actually change your life if you let it sink in. Alan Watts said that the moment you start comparing, you've already left reality. You're no longer dealing with what is. You're dealing with your thoughts about what is. And those thoughts are filtered through all your fears, all your conditioning, all your ideas about what should be happening instead of what is happening. Your relationship isn't good or bad in comparison to someone else's. It just is what it is. Your being single isn't a failure in comparison to people who are coupled up. It's just your current reality. And here's the radical part. When you stop comparing, When you actually look at your life without that filter, something amazing happens. You start to see what's actually there instead of what's missing. If you're in a relationship, you might start to notice the small things your partner does that you've been overlooking. The way they make coffee for you in the morning. The way they remember things that are important to you. The way they've been showing up day after day, year after year, in all the unglamorous ways that don't make for good social media posts. You might start to appreciate the history you share, the inside jokes, the shorthand you've developed, the way you can communicate with just a look, the way you've weathered storms together, the way you've built something real and solid, even if it's not always exciting. And if you're single, you might start to see the freedom you have, the ability to figure out who you are without compromising, the space to grow, the opportunity to really know yourself before bringing someone else into your life, the chance to build a life that's genuinely yours. Watts talked about this concept he called the wisdom of insecurity. He said that most of our suffering comes from trying to make life secure, predictable, measurable. We want guarantees. We want to know that our relationship is good, that we're doing it right, that we measure up. But life doesn't work that way. Relationships don't work that way. Love doesn't come with guarantees or instruction manuals or scorecards. It's inherently insecure, inherently uncertain. And that's not a bug, that's a feature. When you accept that uncertainty, when you stop trying to measure and compare and figure out if you're doing it right, you can actually start experiencing your relationship. You can be present to it. You can let it be what it is instead of what you think it should be. This doesn't mean you become passive. It doesn't mean you stop trying to improve your relationship or stop working on yourself. It means you stop using other people's relationships as the standard. You stop letting comparison rob you of your ability to appreciate what you have or who you are. The comparison trap creates a specific kind of suffering. It's the suffering of always feeling like you're missing out, like the party is happening somewhere else, like real love is what other people have, not what you have. But Watts would tell you that this suffering is optional. It's created by your own mind, by your own habit of comparing. And just like you created it, you can let it go. How? By coming back to the present moment. By actually looking at your partner instead of looking at your thoughts about your partner. By actually experiencing your single life instead of being lost in thoughts about how it should be different. Every time you catch yourself comparing, that's actually an opportunity. It's a moment where you can choose differently. You can notice the comparison happening and just let it go. You don't have to engage with it. You don't have to follow that train of thought down the rabbit hole of inadequacy and self-doubt. You can just come back to right now, back to what's actually happening, back to the person in front of you or the life you're actually living. This is the key moment. This is the shift. From comparison to presence. From measuring to experiencing. From thinking about your relationship to actually being in your relationship. And when you make that shift, even for a moment, you'll notice something. The anxiety drops away. The inadequacy drops away. What's left is just what is. And what is might be pretty good. It might even be exactly what you need, even if it doesn't look like what you thought you wanted. Let's bring this all together. You compare your relationship to others because you've been conditioned to believe that's how you figure out if you're doing okay. You look at what other people have and use that as a measuring stick for your own life. But that measuring stick is broken. It's based on incomplete information, filtered through social media, distorted by people's need to present their best selves to the world. Alan Watts understood that comparison is a trap. It pulls you out of your actual experience and into your thoughts about your experience. It makes you perpetually dissatisfied because there will always be someone whose relationship looks better from the outside. And it blinds you to what's actually valuable and real in your own relationship or your own life. If you're a parent feeling inadequate about your relationship, comparing it to couples without kids or couples in different stages of life, you're forgetting something crucial. You're building something that matters. You're raising humans. You're creating a family. That's not always sexy or exciting or Instagram-worthy, but it's real. It's deep. It's meaningful in ways that surface-level comparisons can never capture. If you're single and comparing yourself to people in relationships, You're forgetting that being single is not a problem to solve. It's a valid way to live. It's a time to know yourself, to build your life on your own terms. The comparison makes it feel like you're waiting for your life to start, but your life is happening right now. This is it, not the preview, the actual thing. The way out of the comparison trap is presence. It's the practice of coming back to what's actually happening instead of getting lost in thoughts about what should be happening. It's noticing when you're comparing and choosing not to follow that thought. It's looking at your partner and seeing them, really seeing them, instead of seeing them through the filter of how they measure up to someone else's partner. It's looking at your single life and seeing the actual experience of it, instead of a story about how it's not as good as being coupled up. This isn't easy. The habit of comparison is strong. It's been reinforced by everything around you for your entire life. But every time you catch yourself doing it, you have a choice. You can either keep feeding the habit, or you can let it go and come back to now. What would tell you that the relationship you're looking for, the one you think everyone else has, doesn't exist? It's a fantasy. What exists is real relationships between real people. And those relationships are messy and complicated and beautiful and frustrating and everything in between. They're not better or worse than your relationship. They're just different. And your job isn't to have a relationship that's better than someone else's. Your job is to be present to the relationship you actually have, to show up for it, to appreciate it, to let it be what it is instead of what you think it should be. The same goes for being single. Your job isn't to compare your single life to other people's coupled lives and feel bad about where you are. Your job is to be present to your life right now, to appreciate what you have, to build something meaningful with the time and freedom you've been given. Stop comparing. Start experiencing. That's the message. That's the shift. And it's available to you right now in this moment. If you're willing to let go of the comparison and just be here. Your relationship is not a competition. Your life is not a competition. The only person you need to measure up to is yourself yesterday. And even that's just a gentle guide, not a harsh judge. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling through social media and feeling that familiar pang of inadequacy, remember this: what you're seeing isn't real. It's a performance. It's a highlight reel. It's someone else's attempt to feel okay about themselves by presenting a perfect image to the world. And you don't need to play that game. You can opt out. You can choose presence over comparison, reality over fantasy. What is over what you think should be? This is how you find peace in your relationship. This is how you find contentment as a single person. Not by having the perfect relationship or finding the perfect partner, but by being fully present to whatever your reality is right now. That's what Alan Watts was trying to tell us. And it's still true today, maybe more than ever. In a world that's constantly trying to make you feel inadequate, so you'll buy something or change something, or be someone different. The most radical thing you can do is accept what is. To be present to your own life, instead of lost in comparison to everyone else's. Your relationship is enough. You are enough. Right now. Exactly as things are. Not because you measure up to some standard, but because there is no standard. There's just life, unfolding moment by moment. And you can either experience it or spend all your time comparing it to an imaginary version of someone else's life. The choice is yours. Subscribe if this changed how you see things.